Hey guys, thanks a lot for checking out LifeMed.ca. I'm Mike Dangerfield, and I want to tell you about the Voyager Plus chair from Power Plus Mobility and how it's funded here in Alberta by the AADL program. Hey guys, I've got great news for you if you live here in Alberta and you know somebody who needs a manual wheelchair. The Voyager Plus here from Power Plus Mobility is funded by the Alberta Aids to Daily Living program, commonly known as AADL. So if you talk to your occupational therapist or your dealer rep, they're going to be able to use code W153 currently to get you your funding that you need to help offset some of that cost for a manual wheelchair. Now it's classified as an A category wheelchair, which means it's going to cover the majority of the geriatric community who are in home care and long-term care and so on. So that's pretty awesome. Stick around and I'll show you some of the unique features about the Voyager Plus from Power Plus Mobility. Okay, so there's no question the most unique feature on the Voyager Plus has to do with the axle plate. So I'm removing the wheel here and you can get a closer look at it. This plate here allows us to move the axle to the posterior or anterior position, and we've got 4¼ inches of range. So what that means is that clients who get fatigued by hand propelling can have an easier time just by moving it slightly forward, and the rotator cuffs won't get as tired, and our goal is that they'll have more energy. We want them foot propelling and hand propelling with a short downstroke so that they get more exercise, and we want them to stay independent in their chair longer without having to ask somebody to come help them by manually pushing them, right? Now, the reason we would have this hole here in the back is usually for a double amputee. We call it an amputee adapter, and what it does is it stabilizes the chair. So you get a wider turning radius, but the chair becomes very stable. There's very few chairs on the market, certainly not on A category, that have 4¼ inches of range. And typically here in Alberta, you'd have to go to a B category chair, which would limit you to a client that has to propel into the community alone frequently. Now with the Voyager Plus being on as an A category chair, ADL clients who are geriatric, long-term care, and home care can have this feature, which is really beneficial. So there's a huge range in seat-to-floor height options with the Voyager Plus. They made it so that you can get it as low as 12½ inches for those who need to foot propel, and we can get it to 18¼ for taller clients. Now, if that's not tall enough, Power Plus made this caster journal adapter. It inserts up into the frame, and now we can get to 19 inches of seat-to-floor height. And we can also do mid-range seat-to-floor heights with smaller casters, which is really great for those long-term care indoor applications. That's what I love about working with these Canadian companies. They make what our clients need, and we don't even need to change the frame. So next up is this welded gusset that they've installed here so that we can move our brakes forward and back. You see, if we had a large 24-inch wheel and we wanted to move it into the anterior position, typically your brake would hit on the socket of the armrest. Now with this gusset, we can move it all the way forward, and that's no longer an issue. So I took the level 1 seating course for ADL, and they taught us that everybody needs angle adjustable back canes. So we've got that covered here with some really nice hardware to give us 15 degrees of angle back canes if we need it. And you'll notice that it's steel and it's all cut out to keep the weight down. So the problem with reclining people with angled back canes is that they have the tendency to scooch forward in their chair. And we don't want that, obviously. So what we have to do is we have to drop the back of the frame so it's a little bit lower than the front. That's easy to do with the wheels, casters, and forks. They call it static tilt or dump position. The only issue there is that you knock your front caster and fork out of alignment so that it's no longer perpendicular to the floor. So what we've done is we've added angle adjustable caster journals. So these bolts here can be rotated so that we can adjust that angle and keep the front casters and forks at 90 degrees to the floor. They'll get better swivel, better pivot, and just a much easier time propelling in their manual wheelchair. Okay, so I flipped the chair around because I want to show you a couple ways we can configure the arms. So the armrests are obviously height adjustable, right? But they can also be flipped back and removed very easily. So a client can do an independent transfer. Now there's very few armrests that you can do that with for angle back, and the secret is that flare right there. They flared it out so that you can still have enough room to angle your back canes, flip it back, and remove it. Really great job by Power Plus. So here's the rear view of that flare that I was telling you about on the flip back arm that allows us to flip it back and still have enough room to recline our back canes. Now, I talk to OTs and secure units that deal with a lot of dementia, Alzheimer's, and so on, and they don't necessarily want quick release anything. They're worried that these arms are going to go missing or somebody might tinker with it. It's really easy to prevent that from happening. You can either use an Allen key or a drill just to tighten that bolt up, and now that armrest is secure and it's not going anywhere. So the anti-tippers are really easy to adjust. They just click into place. Just keep in mind that if you do have your wheels all the way forward or in one of the more forward positions, you're probably going to want to drop these anti-tippers a little lower to the floor. There's no doubt that the chair will be more prone to tipping backwards if the wheels are moved forward, and it's more stable when you move the wheels all the way back. You've also got your curb clearance that you want to think about if your client's going out into the community, but either way they're very easy to adjust, okay? Now we've also got solutions too. When we drop the chair down to 12.5-inch seat to floor height, we would probably bring the anti-tipper straight out of the back of the frame here for you, and that's easy enough for us to do. So when it comes to the wheel locks or the brakes, they're available in a pull-to-lock or a push-to-lock like the one that you see here. And we can be very precise with the aluminum brake style by adjusting the Allen key bolts and the set screw, and we make sure we get good contact with the tire. They can also articulate away or towards the frame of the chair, and we can make it really easy for the client to reach them by adding a 6-inch or a 9-inch brake extension with a bright red tip so that it's visible. So let's change gears and talk about our front rigging here. I listened to a very well-respected OT named Jane Fontaine talking about how the little things, like putting a release tab on the inside of the frame, could be a huge deal for the client. So Jane, if you're listening, I was listening to you, and we can set that up on the inside or the outside. Now this footrest is super lightweight, length adjustable. It's available in 60, 70, or 80 degrees, and we can even put it on either side of the chair. So all we would have to do is move the foot plate over to this side. That's going to cut down on people's inventory. It's going to help AADL out with the recycle, and it's really going to help a facility who has a closet full of left footrests and they don't know where the right ones went. And of course, we can swing it in. So here's a really unique design that Power Plus came up with. I showed you this footrest earlier. It doesn't have the release tab on the footrest itself, and we haven't set this chair up with a release tab on the frame. So we set this up so that secure units, where they're worried about clients that might tamper with those tabs and release footrests, or maybe a hospital that doesn't want their parts to go missing, we set this up so it can be nice and secure, lock into place, right? And if you didn't know to pull down here, you wouldn't be able to release the footrest, right? So that's very unique. So the cross braces are important because we want to be able to fold the chair so someone can put it in the trunk of a car. You'll always get a double cross brace to make it even more secure than most chairs out there. Now on the small sizes from 14 inches wide on up to chairs that are 19 inches wide, this double cross brace will be aluminum. We don't use any plastic parts. This is going to be aluminum, and then when we get to 20 inches wide, the whole assembly here will become steel because our clients are getting close to that 250-pound weight capacity.
So chairs that are 20 inches wide in the seat will get a lightweight aluminum side frame on each side, plus a steel double cross brace in the middle, keeping it very strong. And of course, the heavy-duty chairs over 20 inches wide will be steel through and through.
Okay, I just want to take a closer look at the double cross brace system here and the saddle blocks that receive the top rail of the cross brace. Okay, the saddle blocks are actually mounted underneath the side frames here on either side. Typically you'd see these saddle blocks on top of the side frame. The reason we went underneath, there's actually two, is we wanted to make the cross brace stronger so it's supported by the outside steel frame here on this heavy duty chair. And we wanted to be able to get the chair lower. So this is in fact how we're able to get those really low 12.5-inch seat to floor heights. So these wheels are approved by AADL. They're a composite wheel with stainless steel rims. They've got 8 spokes. You've got a 400-pound weight capacity. So we know that they're tried, tested, and true. Now if you want a lighter weight wheel, we do offer a spoked wheel. They're about half the weight, but the client will be responsible for maintaining them. Warranty will not be covered by AADL, and it's very important that the composite wheel gets recycled back into the program. Right, so you know how we were talking about the benefits of moving the wheels forward and back? I want you to know we can set that up on your demo chair with multiple quick release receivers so that you can try the most stable position, see if you like it, and then compare it to a more active position. So ask your OT and ask your dealer rep if they can do that for you, because Power Plus will set it up for them before you do your trial, and no one has to get their tools out. We can make it nice and easy. So this Voyager Plus has got the heavy duty package on it. You can tell because of the rigidizer bar up here. It keeps the back canes from flexing and it makes it easier for the caregiver to push. You can remove it and still fold the chair, and this one is rated for 350 pounds. So it's pretty great. The AADL will pay for a heavy duty package. We'll make it steel through and through so that it's rock solid, and we'll put a steel brake on it as well. It's in a black frame, which also is worth pointing out because AADL will only buy the Voyager Plus with a black frame. So when it comes to the bariatric front rigging, we go to a more heavy duty one right here. You can see that it's gusseted for added strength, for load bearing, for extension, things like that. Now they just click into place really nicely, and a lot of people find that they're easier to release from here. So sometimes we put them on our lightweight aluminum chairs. Just remember though, guys, they are a bit heavier, so it depends on whether weight or function is more important, and we don't say which one is better. It all depends on the client, their environment, and the caregiver. Now the foot plates can be customized so that they're angle adjustable, depth adjustable. We can even make them meet in the middle, and that's important because our bariatric clients might be 22 inches wide at the hips or 24 inches wide at the hips, but that's their tissue. Their skeleton may be only 16 or 18 inches wide, so we want to make sure there's no gap on the foot plates. Either way, Power Plus can accommodate them. So more good news as far as funding goes. AADL will fund for the tension adjustable back on our standard chairs as well as the heavy duty one that you see here. So I can't thank you enough for checking out LIFEmed.ca and the Voyager Plus wheelchair from Power Plus Mobility and how it's funded here in Alberta by the AADL program. Now we're going to get into some detail about some of the wheelchairs and the commodes that we make for Alberta Health Services, and the difference being there is they would be for a hospital or a facility. We do all kinds of bariatric widths and weight capacities. We do folding chairs, we do rigid frame chairs, and when it comes to the commodes, what Power Plus will do is they'll make them stainless steel so they can be used in the shower or for toileting. So that's really great. They do tilt chairs, self-propelling, all kinds of custom sizes and seating, and we've been doing that for quite some time. So stick around and we'll tell you more about that stuff. And like I said, I really do appreciate you watching. Thanks for checking out LIFEmed.ca.